All right, let's just jump right in. We're living in a world where AI can be anywhere and act everywhere all at once. The problem? Our laws are still drawn on old-school maps with hard borders. So who actually makes the rules for this, well, this global ghost in the machine? That's what we're going to unpack.
So, the core challenge is, it's actually pretty simple to say, but incredibly tough to solve. AI, just by its nature, doesn't see the borders that our entire legal system is built on. It is a truly borderless problem.
Okay, let's make this real for a second. An AI system messes up. It gives someone terrible advice, tanks a market, or leaks private data. If that AI's code is running in one country, but the person who gets hurt is in another, who's the ref? Who's actually in charge here?
And this is where the web gets really tangled really fast. Think about an AI medical advisor. The servers might be physically located in, say, country A, but the user who gets the bad advice, they're in country B. And to make it even messier, the data that taught the AI in the first place came from country C. This isn't some far-off hypothetical anymore, you know? This is just how these things work today.
And bam, just like that, you have total legal chaos. Who's on the hook for the bad advice? The developers? The company hosting the server? The people who provided the training data? And where did the crime even happen? Was it on the server? On the user's phone? Somewhere on the cloud? If you can't figure out where, you have no idea who can enforce the rules or which country's laws are supposed to apply.
So this brings us to a really critical point. Our old legal playbooks, the ones designed for physical stuff in physical places, are just starting to completely break down in this new digital world.
I mean, just look at this comparison. In the physical world we all know, laws tied to land, jurisdiction equals territory. Simple. But in the digital world, that whole connection just snaps. Borders are virtual, and an AI's location is smeared across servers and user devices all over the planet. The old map is useless.
And this quote from the research really just nails it. The very things that make AI so powerful, the global data flows, the cloud computing, are the exact same things that make our old laws obsolete. We're trying to apply nation-state rules to a technology that doesn't live in any nation.
Okay, so if the old rules don't work, what's the plan B? How do we find a new way to hook an AI's actions to a set of rules? This is where we pivot from outlining the problem to actually talking about solutions.
This right here is the central question keeping policymakers and lawyers up at night. If we can't just point to a spot on a map and say it happened there, what's our anchor? How do we forge that legal connection when the actions themselves are virtual?
And the answer, or at least the beginning of an answer, is this concept called nexus. It sounds a bit technical, I know, but the idea is actually pretty straightforward. Nexus is the modern tool for finding that connection. It's not about where the server is sitting, it's about finding a meaningful, factual link that gives a country the right to say, hey, our laws apply here. So how do you find this nexus out in the wild? Well, it's not some abstract theory. Legal eagles use a really practical three-part test. First, they look at control. Who's actually pulling the levers? Where are the big decisions about the AI being made? Second, they look at effects. Forget the servers. Where did the harm actually land? Where are people feeling the consequences? And third, they look at targeting. Was this AI service deliberately aimed at people in, say, Germany or Brazil? If you get a yes on any of these, you can start to build that legal connection.
Now, Nexus is a super important tool, but it's really just one piece of a much larger puzzle. To really govern AI on a global scale, we're going to need a whole new kind of rulebook, one with a lot of different layers.
And here's what that toolkit is starting to look like. It's not about creating one world government for AI. No way. Instead, it's this complex web of different things working together. You've got national laws, big international treaties, technical standards set by engineers, rules the big tech platforms make for themselves, and even specialized expert panels to sort out the really tricky disputes. All of these layers have to somehow mesh.
But whenever you have a bunch of different overlapping rulebooks, you create an opportunity for a kind of strategic game. In the legal world, they call it forum shopping. Basically, it's the art of choosing where you want to fight your legal battles based on which country's laws are going to be best for you.
This table just lays it out perfectly. I mean, if you're running a global AI company, where would you rather be based? In country A, with its super strict privacy laws and massive fines? Or over in country B, where the rules are way more relaxed and they're slow to enforce them? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? By setting up shop in country B, you are literally shopping for a better legal deal, and that can create a real race to the bottom for regulations.
So how do we stop that race to the bottom? How do we build a system that's actually fair and that works? We have to get proactive about it. We need to actually design a new map for AI's future.
The goal here isn't to rebuild the old world of hard borders in cyberspace. It's to stop the chaos before it starts by building a new kind of legal map, one that's based on clear, practical principles that actually make sense for a digital globalized world.
So what does this new map look like? Well, experts are circling around 5 core principles. 1. Use those functional nexus tests we talked about to establish jurisdiction. 2. Demand hard technical evidence, like unchangeable logs, so we can always figure out what an AI did. 3. Embrace that multi-level approach, a mix of national and international rules. 4. Set up expert panels that have the tech chops to understand these complex cases. And 5. Use regulatory sandboxes. Think of them like safe test labs where you can try out new rules on a small scale before you roll them out globally. It lets us learn and adapt without breaking things.
So that's really where we are. We're at a crossroads. The technology is already borderless. The only question left is whether our laws will catch up. Are we going to work together to draw a clear, fair map for the future of AI, or are we just going to let it become a digital Wild West, where the only rule is that the most powerful players get to make the rules? It's not just a legal puzzle, it's a choice we're making about the kind of world we want to live in.